We are anonymous.
Expect us.
Bolivia's President Evo Morales has been highlighting his government's independence from international money-lending organizations and their detrimental impact on the nation, the Telesa TV reported. A day like today in 1944 ended Bretton Woods Economic Conference, USA, in which the IMF and WB were established, Morales tweeted. These organizations dictated the economic fate of Bolivia and the world. Today we can say that we have total independence of them. Morales has said Bolivia's past dependence on the agencies was so great that the International Monetary Fund had an office in government headquarters and even participated in their meetings. Bolivia is now in the process of becoming a member of the Southern Common Market, Mercosur, and Morales attended the group's summit in Argentina last week. Bolivia's popular uprising known as the Cochabamba Water War in 2000 against United States-based Bechtel Corporation over water privatization and the associated World Bank policies shed light on some of the debt issues facing the region. Some of Bolivia's largest resistance struggles in the last 60 years have targeted the economic policies carried out by the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank. Most of the protests focused on opposing privatization policies and austerity measures, including cuts to public services, privatization decrees, wage reductions, as well the weakening of labor rights. Since 2006, a year after Morales came to power, social spending on health, education, and poverty programs has increased by over 45%. The Morales administration made enormous transformations in the Andean nation. The figures speak for themselves. The nationalization of hydrocarbons, poverty reduction from 60% to less than 40%, a decrease in the rate of illiteracy from 13% to 3%, the tripling the GDP with an average growth of 5% annually, the quadrupling of the minimum wage, the increasing of state coverage on all fronts, and the development of infrastructure in communications, transportation, energy and industry. And above all, stability, an unusual word in the troubled political history Bolivia, of which today, with the economic slowdown experienced by many countries in the region, is a real privilege. You see, it's possible to be free of central bankers. The kicker is, in the United States it's within the authority of the president to begin at any moment to begin printing its own money free of the clutches of central banks. Let Bolivia be the example for all. Ending central banks' control over your country and its government will end poverty, hunger, homelessness and war, so long as they are ended at the same time all over the world too. There are 60 countries that have central banks that are members of the Bank of International Settlement, 29 of those countries are members of NATO, including the United States. What Bolivia has done, make no mistake, makes Mr. Morales a really big target. Bolivia under this current president could become a powerhouse in a very short amount of time in all areas including military. They will become a serious threat to international banking interest before too long. We believe his life and his country is in danger and we advocate Mr. Morales to take appropriate actions and safeguards. The exposure of information is critical. The international banking interest will not allow this to go on. Bolivia must start formulating ideas to begin waking the world up and show that change is possible and that it's necessary. This isn't without risk, however. The louder their voice becomes, the bigger of a problem they will become to these fraudsters. Even if they sat quietly in their own little corner of the world and left the rest of the world alone, the elite fraudsters will not leave Bolivia alone. They will seek to bring your country back into the clutches of central banking by way of false flags attacks to incite war, the arming and funding different mercenary groups for destabilization or other covert tactics that you can rest assured are already being drafted up as this message is being watched. We advise all people to observe Bolivia and what they have done and take notes and have a look at the economic numbers coming out. There is no denying, central banks are the slave owners of the world and hold humanity back and have the power over entire countries and their governments. Bolivia should be viewed as a working basic example on how to get rid of central bankers, but also what is possible when you do. Bolivia should be viewed as a basic working example for all humanity, in which who's reached goal, all should aspire to. We are anonymous. We are legion. Expect us.